Yo, check this out. This is Wayne Wonder, representing for Warwick LTV. You see the vision, don't it? See the vision. Warwick LTV. Keep it locked.
I'm gonna tell you. We, as bloggers, these are the issues that we need to address. You understand what I said? Set the bar for the youth. Share, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned to the channel. I don't know all this shit. Yes, brothers and sisters. Greetings once again in the mighty name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I I, and all things good and wonderful amongst us and about us. Seeing? I want to say welcome viewers and subscribers. Viewers, if you like the content, subscribe and make we help grow the platform. I would really appreciate, love that. See? Just press the like button. We ask you please. See? No. Today, it's another day again where we are observe the position where we're in Jamaica today, from where we are come from. We have a video of Edward Seaga receiving award from Ronald Reagan, President Ronald Reagan at the time. You know, see it, and that award was, I think it was a friendship award for the United States. You know, see, publicly, them show the world them appreciation for Seaga go on with all them and Seaga take Jamaica from Michael Manley and things like that. Now, my argument always was this. The all-powerful America and thing like that becomes friend with Jamaica. See, get rid of Michael Manley. Me I say the obvious turnout or result to the be that Jamaica grew within the time when Mike Seaga was in power. Jamaica should have grown to a point whereby Jamaicans forgot the ideals of Michael Manley. To this day, you shouldn't have nobody at all about Michael Manley did this and Michael Manley did that. Because me I tell you, Seaga did have the weapon, the tool in his hand to do everything where Michael Manley dream to do and do it probably 5 times better. You understand? Possibly a different route, but all of the things that Michael Manley was proposing was things what Jamaica need at the time, and any developing economy would have needed to grow to a certain point of, you know, sustainability. You know, see, and as you know, we only had backside tourism, and the next best thing would have been to educate the population. Now, regardless of how them did talk against that, because GLPA is known for always, I say, food the people them don't want education. But regardless, I don't think that would be you know, a grounds where nobody can stand upon for too long. You understand? People say all different sort of things in a campaign and all that. But them good at it very much mean it as well, because, like I say, an educated Jamaica is a threat to the world. A comfortable Jamaica is a threat to the world. And them things that them are going on with. You know, see? So, we just show you, say, Edward Seaga had the resource, the friendship, and everything where could have did build another university on the island. You see, it could have finished up University of the West. I am certain. Because why would they want to take Jamaica out of Michael Manley's hands and make it worse off today than what it was back then? In terms of infrastructure and certain development, you know, Jamaica has come a long way. But in terms of economy and social structures, Jamaica no move. Jamaica has backtracked rather than come forward. You know, see, there's no care or compassion for the citizens. We still no grasp or appreciate that concept where Michael Manley did try instill. You understand me? Anyway, don't a long thing. I'll play the video, make the item hear it, and then, you know, make the item observation in the comment section. See? And I give thanks. Rastafari.
The President of the United States, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, and the Vice President of the United States.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. Please be seated. It's a great pleasure to welcome all of you here this morning. We're here to honor one of the foremost statesmen in our hemisphere, and certainly our good friend and my good friend, the Prime Minister Edward Seaga of Jamaica. Prime Minister Seaga is being awarded the 1982 American Friendship Medal by the Freedoms Foundation for his efforts to further democratic institutions and the free market economy, and for his courageous leadership in the cause of freedom for all people. Few people are more deserving of this tribute than Prime Minister Seaga. People often say that freedom is a worthy ideal, and it works. Well, the proof of this axiom is reflected in the achievements in Jamaica of the man we're honoring today. Before Prime Minister Seaga, there was violence and lawlessness. Now there's peace and growing respect for the law. Before, there was despair about the future. Now there is hope and expectation of better times ahead. In the recent past, the economy was declining, and now through free enterprise, it is growing. And a short time ago, few new jobs were being created, and now there are significant employment opportunities. Without the political and economic freedom characteristic of democratic societies, these results would have been impossible. Jamaica is demonstrating to its neighbors who share its structural economic problems and resulting political polarization that conditions of freedom and economic opportunity lead to greater prosperity and peace for all. Prime Minister Seaga's accomplishments are not limited to what he's done in Jamaica just over 2 years. He has long opposed totalitarian inroads in the Caribbean basin. He has fought for the adherence of basin states to the principles of free elections, respect for basic human rights, and other democratic ideals that we all cherish. Long-term prosperity cannot be achieved without internal conditions of political freedom and economic opportunity. But external assistance is often necessary to help overcome structural economic problems that impede development. This is particularly true in Caribbean basin nations whose small economies are especially vulnerable to external shocks. Prime Minister Seaga's ideas about the need for outside trade and investment incentives to foster the region's economic development were an important intellectual force contributing to the development of my Caribbean Basin Initiative, CBI, proposal to Congress last year. Prime Minister Seaga has been the CBI's most persistent and eloquent Caribbean Initiative advocate and spokesman. And I am deeply disappointed that the CBI did not pass the Senate last December. Last week, I sent up to Congress some legislation. On Friday, as a matter of fact, the CBI as one of our highest priorities, and I'm hopeful that it will pass quickly in this session. The Congress knows this legislation is essential to help the basin countries cope with economic difficulties not of their own making if their people are to have a better future. In giving this prestigious award to Prime Minister Seaga, the Freedoms Foundation is recognizing a true friend of people everywhere who desire a better life through freedom and economic opportunity. And for that reason, he is also a friend of the United States. It's now my great pleasure to present Dr. Robert Miller, the president of the Freedoms Foundation, who will present the American Friendship Medal to Prime Minister Seaga.
Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, Mr. Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen. Last November, the National Award Jury met on our campus and selected the 1982 Freedoms Foundation Award recipients. At that time, Mr. Prime Minister, it selected you to receive the highest award that Freedom's Foundation can bestow on a non-American citizen, the American Friendship Medal. It is my privilege as president of that foundation, acting on behalf of the jury, the board of directors, and the council of trustees, to present to you the 1982 Freedom's Foundation American Friendship Medal. The citation reads, sir, "For his furtherance of democratic institutions and a free market economy, and for his courageous leadership in the cause of freedom for all people." Congratulations.
Mr. President, Dr. Miller, Vice President, members of the Cabinet, Your Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, honorable members of the Senate and of the House, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you, Dr. Miller and Freedom's Foundation, for the honor which you have bestowed on me today. I would, however, like to think of this not as a personal tribute, but as an award based on the friendship that exists between our two peoples. I'm particularly delighted that this award has been associated with the President of the United States, whose personal friendship for Jamaica has been translated into many acts of support over the period of the term of office of my administration. Acts of support which have helped in no small way to rebuild some of the bridges that had been torn down between our two peoples in a previous time. Notwithstanding this personal dimension, I would like to think of this award as having a wider basis of considerations which account for the broad base of friendship which exists between the Jamaican and the American people. Historically, we had a good foundation. Our two founding fathers were well known and well understood the role of the United States in the hemisphere and the friendship that would naturally exist between our two peoples. Sir Alexander Bustamante, whose own 100th birthday anniversary we commemorate in a couple of days, was an unabashed friend of the American people. Norman Washington Manley was born on July 4th, and carrying the middle name Washington, I believe, speaks for itself, and I need say no more. Demographically, 1 of every 4 Jamaicans live in the United States, and they find themselves at home here because of the wide range of beliefs and values which they as a people share with the American people. Politically, we share a common political system, parliamentary democracy. And this system is based on a common devotion to the principle enshrined in the Declaration of Independence by your own founding father, whose 251st anniversary of his birth was commemorated yesterday, George Washington, in the principle that government must exist by the consent of the governed. We share a common belief that personal reward is the greatest motivation for personal initiative and effort, and that by this system we can best make two blades of grass grow where only one grew before. Our peoples share the objective of betterment of self and family as the strongest driving force to build a prosperous society. There are differences because we are not clones of each other. But the commonalities far outweigh these differences. And I had occasion on the well-remembered visit of President Reagan to Jamaica to present him with the text of many popular polls that had been taken in Jamaica over the last several years, in which issues involving the United States government or its people were in point. And we recorded with pleasure that in every such instance, by the voluntary vote of the Jamaican people in such polls, the affirmative response to the American people and to the United States government was in excess of 70% as a minimum. I emphasize this point because too often our friendship is seen and described in terms of personal relationship that may exist between myself and your president, or political expediency, without understanding that a people with a broad common background must independently of each other strike broad common positions in their own common interests. This broad span of natural common interests and common design is bigger than the Prime Minister of Jamaica. It is bigger than the President of the United States. It is a people thing that is shaped by their own experiences and nurtured by their own voluntary will. I accept this award, the American Friendship Medal, as the custodian of friendship between our peoples, of which the friendship which exists between myself and your president is only symbolic. Like my distinguished predecessors who have received this distinguished award, I am grateful that Freedom's Foundation, which has made this award, is devoted to the recognition of struggles for freedom, to make nations free, and to honor the strengthening of relations. In our own case, we have had to struggle from destructive forces which tested the full strength of our beliefs. And in doing so, we have been able to preserve our own country for freedom and democracy. I accept your award in demonstration of the precept that the quality of freedom cannot be diluted. It is indivisible, whether it is the great driving force which created the nation that today leads the free world, or the beacon which guided Jamaica in its struggles to preserve its own foundations of freedom.